take up most of the time. Picnics,
I can't remember anything more about.
Helen, what do you remember about building the new church?
What do I know about it?
What do you remember?
All of it.
Well, do you want to share some of that with us? Like,
Well, I remember when they dug
yeah.
for the church, and when they started to do it, I told you that my wedding, the
Was the
carpet
first
wasn't
wedding.
even in.
Yes, and I remember that. How about some of the fundraising? Is that something your family was involved in?
My dad was.
Because you were young then.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And my father used to be an usher. I mean,
A board member?
yeah, he was a board member for a long time.
Right.
He was a board member for a long time, and he supported the church a lot.
Yes. And then at some point, you moved to Ohio.
Yeah, that was, let's see, was it 3 years ago? Maybe 4?
Maybe 4 years after you got married?
No, see, what we did is, when Kenny, let's see now, Kenny was selling cars, and then a friend of ours decided that he was good. Oh, no, it started where Kenny went into selling mattresses, and we were in Rochester then,
Okay.
and he was selling mattresses, and so Bob Finley called us one day and said, "I want you to come back home." Ken says, "Why?" And he says, "'Cause he says, I'm gonna open up a mattress company, and I want you to come and run it."
Pretty nice offer.
Yeah. Well, then he had it for a while, and then he decided he wasn't going to have it anymore. So Kenny was working for the store at that time, and the guy that owned the store was so impressed with Kenny that he wanted Kenny to come and be his sales manager. So there we were. We were in Bob's store, running it for a while, and then then Bob decided he was going to sell that store. So, okay. So he sold that store, and that's when we decided to go back to Rochester.
Okay.
Because my brother Bill lived in Rochester at that time. So then we went to Rochester, and then my brother Bill got Kenny involved in the store in Rochester.
And eventually you came back to Jamestown then.
Then we came back to Jamestown after that.
And I remember you and Kenny were real active at the church at
Oh.
St. Nicholas.
Oh, yeah.
And weren't you part of the first chairman for the Yasu?
All right, now the first Yasu festival, I remember way back from when she was, Mrs. Titzel was working,
Okay.
and she was doing things. All right, now, now you're bringing me. So, she was doing a lot of the cooking and stuff, and so Mary and I would help her.
Mhm.
Mary Beers.
And Mary Riolo?
No,
No.
no, she didn't cook with us,
Okay.
but not at that time.
Mhm.
Mary Riola was she ran one of the festivals,
Okay.
and that was while I was gone.
Okay.
And so, anyhow, so we we had let's see. So Mary and I worked and helped her. So then one day, she said to me, Mrs. Titzel, I can remember it like it was yesterday. She wasn't feeling very good. She was sick. And so Kenny and I went, not Kenny and I, my sister Dorothy and I went to see her. And she looked at me and she said, Helen, you take my place. She says, you take my place. You do it for me. I can't do it anymore. Well,
Sweet.
I had to do it. And that's where it started. So I just, worked, Mary and I worked together. We were like that. We fought a lot. We laughed a lot, fought a lot.
Played hard, worked hard.
Yeah, we did. And so then she stood right by me. I mean, she did. She stood right by me. And so then all of a sudden, Father Nick comes up. Oh, I thought, oh boy. He came up to me and he says, Helen, will you do the next festival? I said, what? Have you lost it? He says, no. He says, I want you to run the festival.
Huh?
And I said, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. He said, yes, you
Seems
can.
a little scary, but he picked good.
So
She did.
he said, yes, you can. You can do it. I want you to do it. I said, okay. Take your chances. So I said, all right. It says, only if I can do it my way. Otherwise, I won't touch it. Because I didn't like the way they were doing it. And I said, no way, I'm not going to do it that way. They were having tickets, which I said, and Fanaritis was there at that time. And he was crazy about the tickets. Tickets was the best thing. Oh, no, it wasn't. And I says, I'm going to throw out the tickets. He says, whatever you want to do. I said, no tickets. I says, I want cash registers so that we know what we got on paper. And I says, there will be no more going here for the meatballs and going here for something else and here for something else.
Tous ensemble, tous ensemble. Hey! Qu'il est fort ce gouvernement, bien qu'au festival de Rio, que dans les rues y a autant de gens, même les jours où il fait pas beau. Nos ministres détiennent le record, à part les Grecs peut-être c'est vrai, mais voir toute la France dehors, tous sont loin d'y être arrivés. Des policiers qui manifestent, les CRS leur tapent dessus, on croirait presque que c'est la fête, mais qu'a-t-il dans ma rue? Mais qu'a-t-il dans ma rue? On peut y voir les étudiants, les professeurs et les pêcheurs. On peut aussi voir des enfants, mon chien et puis ma sœur. Allez, chauve-souris. On peut y voir des avocats, des facteurs, les infirmiers. On peut aussi y voir mon chat, des retraités et ma mémé. Ah bah oui, ça c'est bien, ouais. Eh oui, passez mon chat. One, two, three, four. Ce qui est bien dans ces réformes, c'est qu'elles nous ont fait prendre l'air. On va finir dans une telle forme que la sécu va devenir prospère. Et si ça continue comme ça, je vais finir par être anarchiste. Le peuple dit arrêtez ça, y a rien à faire, eux ils insistent. Oui, il faudrait changer la France, on est tous d'accord là-dessus. Mais si tout le monde bosse le dimanche, qu'y aura-t-il dans ma rue? Mais qu'aura-t-il dans ma rue? Aujourd'hui, des agriculteurs intermittents, des cheminots. On peut aussi voir des bonnes sœurs qui prient pour nos âmes de gauche. On peut voir des électriciens, des médecins, des militaires. Et au milieu de tous ces gens bien, je crois bien que j'y ai vu ta mère. Oh, ton mère, vas-y, ça ma mère que tu parles là. Non mais t'es malade ou quoi là? Vas-y, viens, on va sortir dans la rue, on va s'expliquer là mon pote, hein. Tu parles pas comme ça de ma mère, hein. T'es malade ou quoi? Allez, tous dans la rue! Wouhou!
He's already started.
He's just getting ready. He's
Okay.
just tuning in.
Just get ready, I'll leave.
Are you
I'll
sitting
see you
good?
later.
Are you sitting good?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm sitting good.
okay,
Looking good.
okay. That's why they'd
Am I
rather,
sitting on my pillow? No.
no,
Okay,
you're sitting on a chubby chair,
all right.
okay?
What do you want to know?
What do you wanna know?
I can tell you what time I got up this
No,
morning.
we don't wanna know that.
6? Was it 6 o'clock? Was it early?
No.
I need to know before the actual, no, actually before. If I do, then
You look good. You look great.
I will. Are you,
Movie star.
whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
Todd knows A152. So if I leave and you guys haven't quite done yet, then you have to go down there, get one of the nurses.
Okay.
Get them down there to the,
Alright.
we're not allowed to do that.
No, can't do that.
We might be done by 5 o'clock, so I'll deal with it.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Did they give you a time limit?
No.
No. They can stay here forever, but I can't today. My hubby is taking me out to dinner.
Oh, nice.
You believe it?
You mean he's gonna feed you?
Yeah.
That's nice.
We're going to support the Presbyterian Church. Is having pancake and jambalaya
Jambalaya?
meal,
It's a great
and as
combination.
a fundraiser. And Raz is going to play.
Nice.
Raz is putting on a concert.
That's tonight.
Yeah. You going?
No. My schedule's
5:30. 5:30.
Nice.
What church is that?
The First Presbyterian. way over in Prendergast and something. All right, shall we begin? Okay. Greg's gonna be doing the interview. Todd's gonna sit over there and play on his phone and pick his fingers. And I'm gonna sit here and look cute. How's that?
Well, Helen, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
It's been a while.
My eyes are itching.
That's okay. You get yourself settled in, and when you're ready,
Yeah.
we'll go. Thanks for agreeing to sit down with us today. We're anxious to hear your story. So,
Well, you ask the questions and I'll give you the answers that I
we'll ask
can,
the question.
because I don't know what you want to know.
We'll get into all of that. So, first, for the record, can you state your name for the video?
Helen Brunner.
Helen Brunner, and I am your interviewer, Greg Anderson, and Liz Frederick is here to help, and Todd Singleton is our videographer. Okay, so, where were you born?
Rochester, New York.
Rochester, New York, okay. Parents' names?
Nicholas and Evelyn Demas.
Okay, Nicholas and Evelyn Demas. Where were your parents born?
In the old country.
Were they?
Yeah,
When did they come to the U.S.?
Wait a minute, what
They-
old country was that?
they
Were they born in Greece or Albania?
in Albania, I think.
Okay. I didn't know.
And what was it you asked me and I didn't answer it?
No, you answered. I asked where you were born. You said Rochester, New York.
Right.
And you gave me your parents' names. And you said your parents were born in the old country, Albania.
Yeah.
Do you know when they came over to the United States?
They came on the boat.
Okay. Early 1900s, maybe?
Oh, yeah. They came when everybody else came on that same boat.
Did they come through Ellis Island?
Yes,
Okay.
that's where they came from.
How did you end up in Rochester?
Well, we were born, we were all living in Rochester. And then, let's see. My brother Bill lived in Rochester. We all lived there for a long time. Then my father bought restaurants in Rochester. He had some restaurants in Rochester at the time. And then,
More than one.
oh yeah, I think he had about 3 or so at that time. And then, so then we decided that he wanted to move to Jamestown because my Uncle Pete lived in Jamestown. And so he wanted to be with family. So that's how we ended up in Jamestown. And then my father started opening up restaurants here. And then he, I was only 7 years old when we moved here. And so then he opened up the, he opened up the Hawkins, and then he opened up the Hawkins, and then he opened up the, let's see, first he opened up the Hawkins, and then he opened up the Palace Lunch, and what was the other one? Palace Lunch, Hawkins, and, oh God,
You'll think of it, Helen.
yeah. Let's see, the Palace Lunch was next to the Palace Theater,
Okay.
and Hawkins was on 2nd Street, and then he had the Manhattan on the corner of 2nd and Main.
Second and eight.
So he had opened up all 3 at the same time.
Well, so all 3 at the same time.
Yeah, well, 2 of the boys worked at one of them. My brother Jim worked at the one in Hawkins, and Palace Lunch. My brother Chris and Sam worked. And then
The Manhattan?
the Manhattan, my mom and my father worked there.
Okay.
The whole family was involved.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You had a pretty good sized family then. Lots of brothers and sisters?
I had 6 brothers,
6 brothers.
and then my 1 sister and me.
Oh my gosh. Your mom was busy.
Plus 2 misses.
Wow. 6 brothers and 2 girls. Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah. And so then he continued with the Manhattan and the Hawkins and the Palace. And then after that, when he sold the Palace Lunch, then we came to Jamestown. And Palace Lunch, that's about when my father, when he sold that one, then he didn't do any more here. Then he worked for a couple of I can't remember who it was. He just worked and helped out at a couple of places.
Okay. Now, did your brothers keep running the restaurants then when your father sold the palace? Did they keep running the other restaurants?
No,
He
no,
just sold everything.
yeah, they, yeah, because that was it. And then we were here,
Mhm.
and that's about where it was.
That's good. Now, what's your first memory of church?
My first memory of the church, well, I was there when it was the old one. I hate to tell you that.
Here in town.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Which old one, Helen?
Now, is this the one behind our current church? You talking about that one?
Yeah, yeah. We moved here then, and it was across the street from where, who lived on that house? It was right across where my aunt and uncle lived, Angelia and my uncle.
Okay. Was that on Sprague,
Yeah, that was on Sprague.
on Sprague Hill?
No, we were,
Okay.
no, we weren't on Sprague Hill.
Okay.
We were,
That's okay, Helen.
no, Angelia lived
Okay,
on Sprague Hill.
okay.
And then we moved, and then my father bought the house on McKinley Avenue.
Okay.
And so then we lived there for a long time.
And you were close to the church then?
Oh, yeah. And so we lived on McKinley for quite a few years. And then, as a matter of fact, I got married from that church, from McKinley Avenue.
Okay. So what does that mean, from
You
McKinley?
got married at your house on McKinley?
No, but I'm just saying, that's when I got married.
You left the house on McKinley,
left,
that's when
yeah.
you got married.
And of
What-
course, yeah,
What year did you get married, do you remember?
1966.
1966.
I've been married 32 years and then 33.
I think a few more than that, Helen. No?
See, so 36, so that was Ken, you met Ken? Your husband Ken?
Yeah.
You married Ken in 1966?
Yeah.
Yeah, how did you meet Ken?
Oh, that's a story.
Let's hear the story. Let's hear it.
Well, I used to work at the Driftwood. And he used to come in for lunch every day because he was selling cars for, what was it? he was selling cars for, was it?
Is it Chevy?
Yeah, you're right. He was selling cars for Chevy. And the guys all came in for lunch. And of course, I was working down there. And Kenny kept asking me for a date. And I said, I can't. I said, I have to work tonight. I kept putting that poor guy off. Shame on me. I kept
It's
saying,
okay.
I said, I just can't. I said, I'm too tired when I get out of here. And so anyhow, one night, you ready? I mean, this went on for about 3 months. And we were so busy that one day, and I came through and I said, oh, I'll be so glad when this day is over. He says, why? I said, because I'm off tonight.
Oh, no.
Oh.
He let the cat out of the bag.
Uh-huh.
He said, well, then if you don't have to work tonight, he said, maybe we could go to dinner. And I said, I had no choice.
Right.
I said, yes, we can. And then that was it.
He got you.
We only went together about 6 months. And then we got married.
Very good.
That's great. Now, did Kenny attend church with you at the Orthodox
He
church?
attends church, but he's not a church member.
Right,
He
right.
attends church with me when I go,
Yeah.
which I can't go very much anymore because it's too hard to get there on Sundays, for us.
Sure.
And he can't drive anymore,
I understand.
and I can't drive anymore.
Mhm.
So that's why we can't get there like I'd like to. I miss I miss not going to church.
We'll have to work on that, Helen.
Yeah. Now, getting back to the church, when you started going, was the service all in Greek or was it mixed English and Greek?
Well, that's when we had Father Genethis.
Father Genesis.
And it was mostly all in Greek, at that time. And and then, it kept growing and growing until the point where then we were speaking a little English, and it came, we were getting more people because they could understand the young people could understand their language
Sure.
better.
Sure.
So, and
Do you remember moving from the old church to the new church?
oh yeah,
Big celebration or big
honey,
ceremony?
I was the second wedding in that church.
Were you really?
The first one was the first one was Demetrius' sister, I think. I think it was.
You know who that would be?
Was that Michael, maybe? No, he's younger than us.
No.
Could have been. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Helen.
it was.
You get
But
us
he was yeah, I'm sure it was him. He was the first one, and then I was the second marriage there. And that church opened in, let's see,
65?
It had to have been. You got married in 66.
Yeah.
the church had just opened, matter of fact. The carpet wasn't even down when I got married. I mean, they didn't even have the carpet down.
Yeah.
So we were the first two marriages there.
Wonderful. It's a nice memory.
Yeah,
Did you have a big wedding? Was it a big wedding?
not real big because my mom had passed away 6 months before. And I kept saying, I can't do it. I can't do it. And my daddy said, yes, you can. I said, no, but it's too close. And he says, no, Mama wouldn't want you to wait. So we went ahead and did it. And that's why I cut my dress off short.
Oh,
I couldn't wear it long. I just couldn't. And I cut my veil. I had to cut the veil off short. I just couldn't go down there. And then we had a very quiet one at the church. And then that was it, you know.
that was very good, and Ken was patient with all of that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's such a good soul.
Did you have a reception downstairs or someplace else, or?
We had a reception at my house, our house.
Mhm.
So, you know, everybody from that came to church, because I didn't make any announcements or anything. I just couldn't. I mean, I just couldn't
Right.
do it.
You were still,
So a lot of our friends did come from the church to the house,
Sure.
and we tried to keep it quiet and small. And it's still 50, almost 53 years.
right? I guess it's a good marriage, Helen, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah.
Good girl.
He's been so good to me.
Now,
He really has.
and you've been good to him, so.
Oh yeah. Oh
plays
yeah.
itself out.
Oh yeah.
Were you in the choir? I don't remember.
Oh yeah. A long time ago. Yeah, when Paul Janethus used to pull my hair in the back, and I stop it. We were upstairs singing
In the old
choir,
church.
and he'd be back there pulling my hair. I said, "Will you stop it?"
He was a jokester.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he'd always be sitting right behind me, and he'd be.
Well, God bless him too.
Yeah, I know it.
Were you involved with Sunday school at all, Helen?
I went to Sunday
I
school.
mean, you didn't get involved in teaching or anything?
Oh no, I was younger, but Loretta and I, we were so funny.
Is this Loretta Searles?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
'cause she and I are the same age,
okay.
and so we would hang around together, and we went to church together, and then we would, after church, we would go over to the house, to her house, and we'd go in the back bedroom there where the double doors were, and we were started to read the Bible, she and I, every Sunday. And that went on for quite a while.
Yeah.
We read parts of the Bible.
This is in the Constantine house on the
Yeah.
corner right there?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And we'd go in that bedroom on the right there, and we'd know where we left off, and we'd pick up on the Bible. Well, we did that for quite a while, and then after a while, we stopped. And so Loretta and I hung around a lot together.
Very good.
And
How big were name days back then? Did you go to other people's house to celebrate name days?
oh gosh, yes, are you kidding me? And then they'd come to our house, and my mother would sit there, and then she'd shake her head when it was time to give the lakume and
Oh, okay.
and make the coffee. We had to know how to make the coffee, and you just sat there like a little mouse, and then she'd go,
She'd give you the go-ahead, huh?
Give her the nod.
yeah.
So what kind of food did you put out for name days? When people came, you had,
Well, they always did lokume. It was a jelly with a powdered sugar over it, and then a kuda beer, and then you'd give them something to drink. The Turkish coffee. You had to make that, and we had to learn how to do that. Oh, yeah. Did you ever learn how to do it?
Long time ago, Helen, yes.
Is that strong? Is that a stronger coffee? Or?
Yeah, but I'm older than you
I
are.
know.
Just a day or two.
Is that stronger than the espresso, the Greek style coffee?
Did I what?
Is the Turkish coffee stronger than the Greek coffee?
Oh,
Or
I
are they
don't.
about the same?
It's the same thing.
Okay.
It really
We
is
just
the
call
same.
it a
It's
Turkish
really
coffee.
the same thing. They call it Turkish
Okay.
coffee, but
Okay.
it's all from that kind of a country. So
Right. Right.
that it's the same coffee.
So the name day thing, you probably kept pretty busy each month. There was probably a bunch of them, not maybe every week.
First it was my brother George, and then it was my brother Chris, and then it was my brother Sam, and then it was my brother Tom. And who did I miss?
One right after another.
Didn't we celebrate the ladies, the girls, or just the men?
Just the men.
Ah,
I don't remember making it for the ladies.
right.
I understand that.
I
didn't
don't
know those
remember
things.
that, but I always made it for the boys. You know, they think they're top stuff.
Yeah. It's the
You know
way it
I'm
was.
kidding.
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
way it is sometimes, even today.
Yep.
But
So there was a strong social life
oh,
among the people.
oh
in the church.
yeah, and I can remember when Father Janethus used to come, and he'd be coming down McKinley Avenue with his
The incense? Or did he have a cane?
no, not then. He didn't have a cane. He had his little bag, you know, to do his,
Blessing.
yeah. And I'd see him coming down the street, and I'd say, "Mommy, Priesti's coming." That means the priest is coming. He'd walk down the street, and because well, one of the boys once in a while would bring him because, you know, Terry or something when they got older. But it was I can just see them coming. I can just see Father coming down the street with his bag to do the house blessing. Oh,
And he would walk. 'Cause it
Oh, yeah,
wasn't
he
too
walked.
far from the church or his own home.
yeah.
And he would walk and do all the people in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It was real special.
Yes, it was. He walked all over. Once in a while, Paul or Terry would take him, but they were working.
Right.
Where did Father Janethus live?
They lived over on Front Street.
From?
Yeah, wasn't it Front? Yeah, they lived on Front Street. Matter of fact, isn't that the house? No, that's not the house that the priest is living in now.
No.
No,
No.
it's down the street further.
They might have been on Palmer Street, Helen, I don't remember, and then moved to Front.
That's right, they were
Okay.
on Palmer, and then they moved to Front.
Yeah. Yeah. So they were always close, so people could walk. A
Yeah,
lot of the congregation was in that neighborhood.
yeah,
You up on McKinley.
they were all down in there,
Yeah.
right.
So we had the name days and we had the blessing of the house. Do there any other special celebrations you remember growing up or even after you got married to the church?
I says, it's gonna be all on buffet style. So that's what I started.
That was your idea.
Oh, yeah, those were those were mine. I says, I want it all buffet style. And I says, you can still have the side over there for the
The bakery.
bakery, right. But I said, there will be baked goods on the other of the, on the, where I had the rest of the food. I said, at the end of that will be baked goods also, because if you don't do that, I says, they won't buy anymore because they've had too much to eat. So I said, we're gonna put baked goods, we put the baklava, we didn't put all of them, we put the baklava and the kudabia and stuff like that on the end, so that they would buy them when they went through the line. Because if they went through the line and they didn't have those baked goods, oh, we're too full, we're not gonna buy any, we're not gonna get any.
Smart.
So we did that. So, and that's where I said I wanted the baked goods on the end, and I wanted all the things with the so that they would buy all this stuff, you know. And then what were they gonna do? They were gonna buy it and they had to eat it.
Or take it home.
That's right.
So how many years did you end up being the chairwoman?
I think I did 3, but I know I did 2. I think I did 9. I think I did 1990 and 1991,
Okay.
and I might have done 90. I skipped a year or 2, and I can't remember who took it. And then I think I went another year. It's got to be on the records.
Yeah, you got us off to a great start, Helen. That's the important thing, and people learned from that, and then we
Oh yeah,
kept moving forward.
yeah.
Hasn't changed a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, they haven't
pretty much
changed
the
it.
same, yeah.
No, they have not. A couple of things have changed, but, you know, everybody makes changes, but I know from being in a restaurant, I mean, and I worked in restaurants, so I worked at the Driftwood, I worked at the Town Club, I worked at the, I worked at Moonbrook. So, I mean, I knew what it was to work in those restaurants too.
Sure.
Helen, you always helped us maintain a first-class standard and quality. Always. And I thank you for that.
You know, I did it because I
was good.
wanted to. And I enjoyed everything that I did.
Yeah. Sometimes you were a bit of a,
Pain in the neck.
thank you.
Well, I mean, a lot of times you people were a pain in the neck to me too.
Right.
Oh, Helen, you can't do that like that. I said, well, that's too bad. That's the way we're gonna do it.
It all went very well.
And, well, I mean, I'm sure I made a lot of mistakes, but who doesn't?
Hey, you took the responsibility and you took charge.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes you have to
and
be
when
a
I
little
put the
tough.
cash registers in, they said, well, you can't do that. You can't do that. I says, I won't do it if I can't have cash registers. I says, we cannot keep going. And then the kids, some of the kids were taking the tickets and they weren't tearing them. So they were using them over, or they were passing them to somebody else. And I said, we're not gonna do that. So, but I know Fanaritis, I think he was the president at that time.
Might have been.
Yeah, I think he was. And he said, but Helen, he says, you can't do that. He says, the tickets are the best thing. I said, no, they're not. No, they're not. They're a danger.
There's still a difference of an opinion, but we're using the cash registers and it's going well.
Pardon me?
There's still a difference of an opinion, but we're still using the cash registers and it's going well.
And they still want to use tickets?
An occasional person might say so.
Because for one thing, when you got the tickets, all right, now you got the guy saying, how many tickets do I have to have for this? All right, now you're standing there and you got people standing all the way down on the
a good
Well, you
point.
need 1, 2, 3, 4 tickets for that, and 5 tickets for that, and 4 for this. Who in the heck had time to count all these tickets in the line?
Right.
Didn't even make sense.
Cash registers is good. Right.
Keep them moving, keep
Yeah.
them moving.
Right, so I called the guy at the cash register place, and I said, can you set us up with tickets for the festival? He said, sure, Helen. I can't remember what his name was, and I knew who he was. And he says, sure. He says, we can put cash registers in there. And he said, he himself said, that's a good idea, Helen. He said, to put cash registers in that festival. He says, but not using tickets. He says, not because I'm selling you. And I says, I just didn't believe. I mean, my father always used cash registers in all his restaurants. And he wasn't going to sell you tickets.
You can talk to Todd about restaurants.
Oh, now we take credit cards at the festival.
I don't think they should do that.
We think they spend more when they take credit cards.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they do, Helen. They buy more than what they normally would.
Yeah,
Which
that
is good.
probably,
They
yeah.
take it home, put it in the freezer, and enjoy it later, which is wonderful. You know, it's good.
Yeah, but
So those are some really great memories.
I still think the money up front is better than the credit cards. Really. And then they go over to the other part where the clothes and stuff are, and they use tickets. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that what we needed was the money up front.
Sure. So, a couple other things. What do you remember about the Balkan dance? Remember the dances they used to have at the Crystal Ballroom?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, I decorated a couple of them.
Did you?
Hmm.
Pretty big deal?
Oh, yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Had a live band?
Father Nick was alive then,
Yeah.
and he said to me, "Are you going to decorate the room?" And I says, "If you want me to." And he says, "Yeah." So I decorated the one or two of those.
Everybody got dressed up?
Oh yeah, we got dressed up and yeah.
Formal attire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking forward, Helen, the future of St. Nicholas, 20 years from now, what would you like to see happening at the church? Do you have any recommendations going forward?
I think you guys are doing a great job. I really do. I mean, when I look at all the things that you people are doing and that what you are showing us with all new things, I think you're doing a great job. I don't think you can do it any better.
Any programs we should have that we don't have today? Any events or ministries outside the church? Can you think of anything that you might want to?
No, I think you don't want to do anything more than the festival, because then let's not, do more than one thing, because everybody talks about the festival. And I think that's where you should stay, with keeping one thing, an important thing to us is the festival.
As I'm sure Liz explained to you, one of the reasons we're doing this is to be part of our centennial celebration we're going to have in 2 years. And is there anything that we should try to incorporate into our celebration that you can think of that might add something to it?
right now, I can't tell you. But I still think that, you know, what you're doing is good. But I don't know what else you could change.
Okay.
Because you don't wanna do too many things, because then you're beginning to look hungry,
Right.
you know? Then you're beginning to look hungry, and then you're stealing from other people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I understand. It's a
I
good
mean,
point.
you know, the Greek festival is trying to take over the city. And we can't do that.
Right.
You can't do that. You have to share.
It's still a pretty popular festival.
That's right. And leave it there. Because you can ruin it if you put too much on our side. And then they're gonna say, oh, those Greeks, they want it all. You know, you don't wanna look hungry.
Got to hold back a little bit.
Yeah. You have to allow yourself to share with others. Because they all have things going. All the Italians have it going. They have their festivals and everything. And you can't try to overrun everybody. You know, don't get hungry,
It's a good
because
point.
that's where you can make your mistakes. If you get hungry, then they say, to heck with them, I'm not going to their festival. They got this one, and they got that one, and they got this. They get enough. They want us all. They want everything. You can't do that.
Is there anything that we didn't ask you that you can think of that you would like to share, or we pretty much covered everything?
I think we did a pretty good job.
All the families you interacted with over the years, a lot of families.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can remember when I was little. I can remember going to church Easter night, and my mom, dad, and I would walk from McKinley Avenue down there, and we walked down there and we walked back home.
And did your brothers go too, or were they they go in the war? They were in the war, weren't they?
My brother Tom was in the war, and my brother
Chris?
Chris couldn't go in because he had a bad ear.
Okay. George?
My brother Bill went in, and my brother George went in.
George, yeah.
Yeah.
And they all came back safe.
Yep. Let's see. My brother Bill didn't go over because he had a bad thumb. So they sent him as a desk. He was on the desk.
Okay.
And then my brother Chris couldn't go because of his bad ear. And my brother Jim couldn't go because he had I can't remember just what it was, but he couldn't go. At that time, they were very fussy about
Sure.
any little thing that you had. Anything that you had, you were
Right.
taken off of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Helen, thanks so much
Thank you.
for sharing your story.
I don't know what else to tell you. Oh, I can tell you about Father Nick again.
Sure.
He used he had you know how we do the for the front of the church where we have the the things that, where they make like the colors, you know, the flags. That's what I'm trying to say, is the flags and stuff. Well, he didn't want those flags made at one of the stores.
Really?
No, he didn't want them bought by one of the stores. He wanted the women of the church to make them. And he always asked me, you know, would you make these, and would you make these? Would you sew these, and would you sew this? And so I would help him. You know, I'd say, yeah, I'll do it. And then somebody else did some. I can't remember who it was. Somebody else helped me make some. And so then,
Didn't Mrs. Titzo help you with the sewing?
the only other thing I can tell you is that when Father went to the, when he went on, oh, come on, when
Overseas?
Well, the Israel trip, the
The
Holy
Holy
Land
Land?
trip?
yeah, when he went to the Holy,
Okay.
when he
Holy
went to
Land.
the Holy Church, when he went down there, he came back, and he had a big thing that was stamped that needed to be finished, and the edges of it weren't finished. So he wanted me to finish off the edges. And when he got sick, he said to me, Helen, when you finish that off, I want it in my casket.
There was the shroud, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that was a blessing that he got him.
And he says, I want you to finish it. So I did. I finished it with my sewing machine, and so he's sleeping on it from our church, from the, and that was it.
That's a great story.
Yeah, and I think of that all the time. I hope he's warm.
He's plenty warm, Helen,
warm.
not to worry.
I know.
Well, hey, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
You were great today. You had nothing to worry about. You were wonderful.
Thank you. I try to help you as much as I could.
It's an honor listening to your stories.
Yeah, maybe some of it was boring.
Oh, gosh, no. Gosh, no.
Well, it's, you know, things that you kids didn't even know anything about.
Before our time.
Yeah, that's right.
That's great to hear those stories.
That's right.
All right, well, the show is over.
You'll get that.
And I worried so much.
Yeah, Liz.
I don't know what to say.
No, you did fine.
I hope.
You did fine.
I hope.
Sure you did.
Maybe I talked too much.
Oh, gosh, no. Not at all.
Yeah.
Bye, Liz.
Bye, Liz.
She's having trouble with the door.
You got their attention?
Yeah.
We all set?
All set.
Nice. I like the light setup you have here.
Like that?
I do videography too, so I gotta check out your setup before I go.
This one was really not expensive at all.
Nice.
LEDs, two
Perfect.
batteries,
Not
and
bad.
you can change the temperature on it.
Perfect.
So,
Very good. That's what I used to do for Levant Wesleyan Church. I
Thanks
used to
so
work
much.
there.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
and the GoPro.
Thank you.
of course.
Nice to
Thank
see
you
you
for
again.
having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Helen. I'm sorry I gotta run, honey.
No,
But he'll take care of you and get you settled.
yeah,
Okay?
thank you.
Thanks, hon.
Thanks, Josh.
All right.
All right. See you guys.
Yeah.
No problem.
What do you have,
I was being a movie star.
Are you taking me back?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Is it gonna cost me?
It might.